devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell Vieux 4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay By Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosley Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Live streaming has become one of the best ways to connect the funeral of a loved one with friends and family, both local and international. NBC Television will live stream your funerals on television and Facebook at a reasonable rate. With our state-of-the-art equipment, you can be assured that the quality of your funeral will be to your satisfaction. Call our office now and book your obituary and streaming with us. 758-453-7458.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Another wonderful Friday afternoon to you. It is the 27th day of the month of March 2020. 26. This is The Real Issues with me, Shelton Daniel, your host and producer, alongside our technical operator, Alton Jaquan Joseph. Hope you're having a good day so far. There's nothing about it not to enjoy. It's a wonderful day. It looks wonderful. It feels wonderful. It is wonderful. You know, in the brightness of the sun, the brightness of every other thing, especially things natural, they tend to project and express themselves much better. The sea, the sky, you know, the trees and the grass and so on, they all seem to exude their own colors, whether it's the greenery or the blue or the gold and so on. They come out a lot better when there is bright sunshine. The only thing is that the life of air condition and office and the vehicle and so on has spoiled us. You know that we cry about the heat. I remember when I was young, when myself and others, you know, the whole duvet thing, you know, especially when school vacation is on, Easter holidays, whatever it was. I mean, we used to be out in that sun doing any number of things, and we didn't used to feel it was ever too hot for us. You know, your parents used to shout at you, "Sadama Soleil Show," you know. And what Soleil Show? Whether it is softball, cricket, or... Yeah, there wasn't too much softball because who could afford the tennis balls that we call softball and so on? We used to make our own cricket balls and hope that you don't get struck by one because it's with melted nylon, usually, that we used to pick up from the garbage dump, you know, Paxodia, and melt it and put it on 2 cardboard flaps and roll it. You know, you had to be skillful, you had to be careful and so on. And the name for it was the campo. So, on top of all the heat that you had to take from the sun, we're messing about with fire. We used to cook our little food. And as I've told you before, our parents were always worried because you're gone the whole day. What have you eaten? You haven't eaten today. You know, I haven't eaten anything, Mama, because not because you want to lie, but you know, in your mother's mind or your father's mind, and in your own mind, food is a plate of food. When you get your plate of food at home and so on, which a lot of times, many of us didn't make a fuss with it. It was nothing great. To talk about banana, you know, boiled in water with a little bit of margarine. There was a margarine they used to call beka. What is the real name for it? Oleo butter or something. And if it was chicken, I mean, it was such a small piece. Or saltfish. I mean, hardly anything to talk about, even though it was way cheaper in those days and so on. So, and you know, there's something about young people when you're born together. You could have the best meal at home, the ones that you all prepare in the little pan, or like I said, the little, you know, discarded tin of mellow cream, whatever that you boil it, your tea margé and so on. It always tasted better, you know. Brethren dwelling together in unity, sharing it and so on. It always had that little extra, you know, bit of taste, which really was the taste of the camaraderie and the friendship, and building your own little houses from sticks and straw and coconut leaves, you know, your little cabe, as we called it. By the way, cabe it's really a French word for cabin, right? It's cabin, but you know, over time with things in the Creole, they get, you know, they get elided into some of the pronunciation and so on. And you know, those were the fun days that we had and so on. And when I look at there's something that one of the service clubs does every year, or they used to do it, you know, the treasure hunt. I looked at it one time and I said, you know, we need more things like that, you know, because the treasure hunt may be a little modern iteration of what we used to do in terms of just basically trolling the whole place, the whole countryside. When you look at, I look back and I see the miles we used to cover in a day, just moving from place to place to place to place, whether it is to get buigo on the rocks, you know, in places that we really shouldn't have gone at that age, but we were always sure that there's somebody looking out for you and so on. Or whether it was digging up for palud, or whether it was, you know, going in the maigo, or, you know, the swamps and so on to look for crabs or something else, or akensin or bubum. There's a little fish we used to call it, bubum maigo and so on. Those were nice days. I don't know that they will come back. I don't know that I would want my children to go wading in any kind of maigo or swamp, or even the rivers and so-called ravines, which we hardly have anyway. But given the way we treat our environments, I'm not sure I would want my children to be having fun in exactly the same way that I used to have it. Too much of, you know, perils and risk and problems of that kind. But we've come to the end of another weekly cycle of the Real Issues. Thank you very much for having kept us company, for giving us the motivation to do it. You're the ones that we do that for. Our program, as you know, is weekdays. That's Monday to Friday, holidays accepted, from 12:30 until 2 p.m. on the radio station Real FM that serves you on the dual frequencies of 91.3 megahertz for listeners in the northern part of St. Lucia and 91.5 in the south. Okay, it's been the week of the presentation and debate of the budgetary estimates of revenue and expenditure in the House of Assembly. And so this is where we've been. A little bit of drama, if you want to call it that, although, you know, that's hardly what I would call drama. If this is drama, then my goodness, I don't want to see what is, you know, something that you consider to be ho-hum and blasé and that's trite and that leaves you really feeling sunken and so on. But Alan Chastney was up to it again today, yesterday, in the House of Assembly. And I have to ask myself, I know Alan Chastney doesn't understand the Creole, but is that how this man intends to conduct his entire political career, if we want to call it that? Then too much of a career, I must say. Is that how Alan Chastney intends to continue indefinitely with his foray, his involvement in elective politics in St. Lucia? Because it has become something that now leaves you feeling so glutted and like there's absolutely no kind of stimulation or excitement, nothing in it to look forward to except to ridicule Alan Chastney. And it's yourself you're ridiculing, because it's not that he's there. But Chastney looks like one of those people who, on paper, is supposed to have some kind of, I don't want to say class, I don't like to use that word or whatever, although he did use it, say, in his class. But how can your class support you? How can your own class, which I suppose you mean the people who are considered economically, at least, maybe socially too, the upper crust of St. Lucia, who own houses in places like, you know, Rodney Heights and Redui and, you know, Cap Estate and Bonterre and those places where it is considered to be the more bougie kind of people who live there. How can those people, if that's what you were talking about, want to support you and want to go out and vote for you? You presented yourself to a rural constituency after losing in a West Coast town of some significance, namely Soufrière, you know, our heritage town as we often refer to it, you know, the place where we have a World Heritage Site, the Sulphur Springs, the majestic pitons, you know. I mean, a beautiful place with so much rich history and diversity for one that is boxed into a tight little, you know, space between mountains, you know, on three sides and then the sea on the other side. That Soufrière has this wealth, you know, of diversity and history and all of that. And you were defeated there. You went to Micoud. People made all sorts of allegations and insinuations about buying the seat and paying Asin James and all of that. But you won the seat. You've won it 3 times successively. In 2016, when you first went up there. In 2021, in a losing cause where you and your party, while in government, were routed 15-2. You took up the mantle of leader of the opposition. And you engage in exactly that pattern of behavior, wanting to play cat and mouse to see if you can ensure that you speak, that you are the last person who speaks before the Prime Minister's final summing up, or, you know, or rebuttal or whatever, because you want to make sure you speak after Ernest Hilaire and Richard Frederick, I suppose, because there seems to be that insecure fear about if you speak before them, they might come after you and savage you. But they still savage you. Richard Frederick had a program last night that he said he had not intended, you know, to air last night. He didn't intend to have, you know, can I help you? But his team came back and totally brutalized you. The Prime Minister in his summing up came and was merciless with you. So just come and speak your truth. Do your duty and so on. Represent the people of Micoud South. Don't leave them without a voice, because they have kept faith with you. They have shown that regardless of how elections go, is you the one there, is you the one to represent, is you the voting for, and so on. They've done it. They've done it 3 times. You know. I mean, go there and do the work that they effectively hired you for through the ballot box. Go there and say, look, in these estimates, I do not see for the construction of a new development center or community center for Lacoville and this and that, and we there is so, and those places can play a huge part in heritage tourism. I hear a lot of that talking about, and these are some of the places, you know, Calypso and whatever it is, the upper reaches of Blanchard, that they can be on the front lines in the battle of climate change, because so and so and so, the mountains which form a backdrop to them, if properly managed, can become sources of water. You know, I mean, I'm just talking, not anything I know. But do something like that. It just goes to show that you are not as involved as you ought to be. There is not sufficient connection, bonding, identification, nexus with the constituency, and it reinforces something that I and others have been saying, that all you want of Deriso is to put you on the pedestal of being an elected, you know, parliamentarian, an elected member, to just give you that so that you can parade and posture as being leader of the opposition, as I suspect was the same thing for the prime ministership. Like something that your true heart, your loyal heart, if you have one, you know, a heart of purpose, a heart of dedication and devotion, if it exists in you, it is not being manifested in your representation. You do things that you know invariably will lead to your, you know, losing your turn to speak, so that you can get up and pick up your things like a petulant child who's been told he's out, so he picks up the bat and the ball and the sticks, you know, the stumps, because he owns all of them, and he walks out. Except you don't own them. Maybe you could have played that part, you know, when your party was in government. The mere fact that you, the only member of the opposition, that is all the more reason why more people are listening to you than if you had a whole set of you all. Because you're the only voice from the other side. Let's hear what you have to say. Do you have the wisdom of hindsight in seeing what happened in St. Vincent and the Grenadines? You're not the only one. It happened to Ralph Gonzalez and so on. So it has happened to you here and so on. Do you have the wisdom of hindsight with what has been happening in the Caribbean, the boats being blown up and on the sea by America, you know, the whole situation with Venezuela, what's developing now with Cuba? Because your government maintained relations with Cuba. You didn't break it, even for all your Lima group, you know, meanderings and so on. You kept relations with Cuba. You didn't leave that and so on. I don't know if that's a credit to you. About the Iran-Iraq war, what it's going to do to oil prices, what it's going to do. You're supposed to be an economist. You're supposed to be a businessman. You're supposed to be a man who was once, a top airline executive, you know, vice president of Air Jamaica and all these kind of things that you have held. You are the man who, one of the rare things that the Labour Party did and you did not discontinue it was the CIP. You know, you kept it, so that means you must have seen some value, some merit in it. To talk about, you know, some things for the CIP, we can expect decreased inflows from the CIP, so here's what we need to do to position ourselves should it come to the worst. These are the kind of things, you know, people train their ears on you more than you. As much as the people of Deriso believe in you, there are a lot of people who are willing to listen to you, but you don't give them a chance. You're more prepared on going on a talk show, which is your right to. You can go to the talk show, but you are not elected to be a perennial, perpetual, repeat, you know, guest on a talk show. You are elected to the Parliament of St. Lucia to represent the people of Mico South. As the results turned out, you are almost by default now leader of the opposition in the parliament. You know, you have a duty. You're supposed to take up that duty. But then I look again and I say, what is Alan Shastney's real purpose, mission, and desire in politics? Is he satisfied and that is enough for him to just know that he has the United Workers' Party by the throat? You know, he has it by the throat to be the leader of the party, and that's all he's concerned about. Whatever comes with it being, he's satisfied. Because I don't even see, as leader of the opposition, that you're showing any kind of interest whatsoever. But we should have seen it coming, you know, that he would be on what they say in Creole, ou le même son. You saw this kind of politics that you have been practicing, the petulant, childish, puerile, infantile politics that it has led nowhere, because according to that passage in the Bible, which I think, Jesus Christ himself said, a tree is known by the fruit that it produces. A good tree will produce good fruit, and a bad tree will produce bad fruit. Haven't you seen what your kind of politics and your kind of non-leadership has wrought on the United Workers' Party? Haven't you seen that? Don't the people who have kept faith with you, I know the temptation is to say, but these are St. Lucians who have, doesn't it matter to you that what you are doing to them, it is filling them with a sense of despair. It is causing them to see no path forward and so on, that their leader is abandoning his duties and in the process abandoning them every time. Over what? Over a tussle and jostle and cat and mouse game to see that you speak after Richard and after Ernest and so on. How many times do they have to punk you? How many times do they have to make a total fool, moron, jackass, idiot of you? Do the same thing. They just don't talk. And then you there waiting for them to talk. Speaker is looking left, speaker is looking right, speaker is looking around, you're not talking, and every time it seems, you know these guys can keep that up indefinitely. They can punk you all the time. 16 seats out of a possible 17. You're the only voice in the wilderness. Alan, have you ever read, about the man who described himself as the voice of in the wilderness? I am the voice of someone crying out in the wilderness. Do you realize what an important role that is, to be the lone voice that is going to, pick apart and give a contrary view, an exceptional view, a different view? That every time like that you are allowing, the same duo of Richard and Ernest and Alva, well, it's not a duo then, to just punk you like that every time in the parliament, and you falling for it. Do you not bother about, the inspirational value, the morale boosting, the kind of, oh boy, we lost the election, but we have, as we say in St. Lucia, we have a MAPP there, we have a MAPP even as one man. He doesn't play, don't you want to give them that kind of, feel good that, okay, beat us in the election, but boy, Alan keeping them on their toes, that you're going to walk out every time like that and do it to the people? Now I shouldn't be telling you that. As a Labourite, I should take the position of I couldn't care less, let you mess up. But I see politics as being beyond that. Politics is supposed to incite, invigorate, and inspire, the politics. The credentials that you claim and all of that, I don't think the late Louis George of Miku North ever claimed that. I don't think he ever came across as being a man who's the sharpest knife in the drawer and blah, 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 and so on, But for heaven's sake, Louis George, for 4 years from 1997, we can say 5, from May 1997 until elections were called on the 3rd of December 2001. They didn't go the full 5 years. He showed up all the time. When you didn't see him, calls were being made. How's Louis doing? Because he was known to be a man not in the best of health. But he came there. He put fire. He put picong on people, he did his thing. He told Casillas, the one stinging piece of maple that he told, that they have put agriculture in the hands of a man who has failed at every endeavor that he has undertaken, including baking bread, Some reference to the fact that Casillas once had a bakery, and the bakery, I suppose he was saying, folded that bread is supposed to be such a profitable thing that you're not supposed to have a bakery that goes bankrupt or broke or whatever. Now, I'm not saying whether it was true, but this is the energy that came out of Louis George, He would take a jab. You say all these things that you have done in this budget, but you mean to tell me, for a country that is so agriculturally based, we need feeder roads, we need farm access, that this budget does not contain one new mile of road throughout its 50 pages. Not one new mile of road have you built or something, for the farm or anywhere else and so on. Showing that when you come and talk, your infrastructure investments is really poor. It really is not showing. Always a thing. And then I see, you've just suffered a 16-1 battering, a 16-1 bludgeoning. But you come in the same foolishness you did all the time. Same foolishness you coming with. Mem so, but we should have known, you know. We should have just listened to some of your surrogates, including the one who thinks she brighter than everybody else, including the one who believes that taking charge and taking the lead is to antagonize and insult everybody. Once after the election, she came out in the same way that she had been going for 4 years, you know, and more. And I said, whoa, these people, they're not going to learn. The same insult, the same putting people down, the same denigrating, the same, PR madam who believes that success in a field is to remind everybody that she's on top of them and she's boss and she's better and she's best and she's... The moment I saw that, I said, you know, a slave is not greater than his or her master in that case. You know, if the master is someone who believes only in mischief politics, only in the politics of trying to make people ashamed and embarrassed, only in the politics of the unidirectional focus on visa-free access. Oh, we lose our visa-free access. Now, I'm not saying visa-free access is not important, but it's like, that's all you know. That's the only thing you can appraise and basically measure our countries on it, how much we can kiss the backside of certain bigger countries and for visa-free access. You know, the one-track mind that our future and our hope and our destiny lies in how much we can brown nose America and Canada and the UK. That's all it is. So maybe now you're having the time of your life because it seems like our visas are in peril and so on. And that is why, without me having any proof, I look at what was going on there at Redway Beach and I said, it would not surprise me if certain people, well-known people, are involved in that they are pulling strings and yanking chains in the background there to cause people to behave in certain ways over matters that could have been resolved at the snap of a finger, you know, at less than a meeting, in one little encounter, in one little agreement. That does not even need to be reduced to writing, although it should, really, because it involves, you know, public funds and state funds and whatever, and crown lands and King's Chain. But it would not surprise me if somebody behind there is trying to see whether they can extract out of that some kind of contra-terms that will make them look better. The same people who did not want another black woman who was a beach vendor, who had a facility on another beach and so on, wanted to run her out, that suddenly they would find so much love and so much kisses and so much embrace for, you know, another black woman. 2 M's, you know, one of them was called Marjorie. You know, you try to run her out, and she's been saying that openly for how many years, but suddenly you might find so much love and desire to keep the other one and to help her because there is, you know, bash the government value in that one. I don't need to know. You just have to see the trajectory. You just have to see the general inclination and orientation of how somebody conducts themselves, and you can extrapolate very easily. You know, that is why I wouldn't be surprised that this kind of stubborn and refractory and obstinate, recalcitrant kind of way of dealing with a place where somebody does not own the land. If it's King's Chain, it belongs to the crown and so on, but you're acting like you have a right. Even offers that you are made, you agree to, you turn it back. I said to myself sometimes, the real bad apple there is not the lady, is somebody in the background being a troubler, trying to make trouble. You know, that's probably what's going on there. Because this kind of behavior that we are seeing in the parliament, which is not matched by anything of substance, anything uplifting, anything that provides a template for some kind of excellence that we say, you know, can be transformed or transmuted into true leadership that the country needs. The kind of leadership that Philip J. Pierre said, that person believes only in being a mete des arguments, and it calls twaka, you know, in the country. That's probably the kind of person we have. Anyway, we've reached 1 o'clock already, so let's take the break. This is The Real Issues, and we'll be back shortly with a bit more, and the phone lines will be open.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real Issues, 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
why are you suffering from aches, pains and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with big issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
This is The Real Issues, hosting our final program for this week and the final Friday for the month of March. By the time the next Friday rolls around, we would have already been a couple days into the month of April, and we won't be having a program on that day because Friday next week is Good Friday, isn't it, Jaquan? Right. So that's a public holiday, so you'll be missing us, for at least the next Friday. And so our final program will be on the Holy Thursday. But before we go any further, I have a gentleman on the phone who wants to extend some well wishes, some good greetings. He's a wise man from the area of, PI and Park Estate and that sort of area there. Mr. Wiseman, good afternoon to you, Mr. Julius Boulogne. And it's a while I haven't spoken to you. It's nice hearing you. But I'm sure there's somebody else who will find it even nicer hearing from you. So go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, Shelton. Well, Shelton, I just want to wish my beloved wife our 50th wedding anniversary today. So I want to wish her the best and for the strength and the courage that she has given to me and for beautiful children that she has given to me. Okay. And a happy living family. So I want to wish her and congratulate the day that I met her as a wife. Okay. I appreciate her, and this is what I want to wish her for now. So it's a long time, 50 years.
50 years of it,
yeah. So 50
It's
years of marriage.
a very long time. Yes. Congratulations to you both. I mean, it's always so encouraging, so inspiring when you hear about people who have managed to keep it together for that long and so on. So, my friend, my best to you, and do convey my good wishes to your wife as well, okay?
Yes, my brother. Thanks so much.
Right, all the best. And if I show up unannounced, uninvited, don't turn me away, because there has to be something.
No.
There has.
Well, actually, there might be a time I will call you on, but
Okay.
for now.
Okay. All right.
There is a greater things to come. That would be a pride. That would be the pride for me.
Okay.
On that very day.
All right.
And I
Okay.
think some months to come. So there you'll be invited. With part of the same anniversary. It will be
Okay.
another great anniversary.
All right, my friend. Okay. All the best. Yeah.
Yes, thanks. Bye.
All right, Julius Wiseman Boulogne. Yeah, 50 years. We have a caller on the line. Good afternoon, Real Issues. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Good afternoon, Jaquan, and to your viewers and listeners.
Hello.
Hey, can't you hear me, Shelton?
Hello, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
Oh, you're hearing me now?
Yeah, I'm hearing you now.
Oh, good afternoon to you, my brother.
Hey, how things?
Hey, I'm good. Is it Nigel on the console?
No, Jaquan.
Hey, Jaquan, welcome back, my brother.
He's been back for the whole of this week.
Oh, well, I watch in and out, so I will know who's on the console.
All right,
unless I hear your introduction.
Not a bad thing. Not a bad thing to watch in and out. It's not a bad thing to watch.
My brother, I have a concern, and I've made it clear on many occasions. I have an issue with this no right turn sign. I'm opposite the Wyndham Gap, St. James Morgan Bay, and opposite the traffic department, Northwest. Mm-hmm. There is a no right turn sign for northbound vehicles, and there is a no right turn sign for southbound vehicles at Wyndham.
Okay, so right? Say again. There's a no right turn sign for northbound vehicles. Where is that?
That's when you're exiting Northwest. It's right opposite the gap.
Okay, when you exit in Northwest, it's saying no right turn.
Right.
Boy, I don't know. I can understand it, because to me, when you exit in Jamari, it's the same thing. It's 3 lanes of traffic you have to deal with.
No, but now you see that Jamari is different.
There's no traffic light working there.
Because no traffic light. But when you're exiting Northwest and you're heading north, you're cutting across 2 lanes.
Yeah, 3 almost. I don't know. You have to deal with 3 lanes there. You don't necessarily cut across them, but there's one that's coming down, and there's two that's going up.
There's 2.
So.
No, there's 2 that's coming down.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
So that's the problem.
Boy.
And with Wyndham, it's the same thing. Yeah. Now this morning, or this afternoon, sorry, as I was driving down, I saw that cones were placed along those lanes by the exit to Wyndham Morgan Bay. Okay. And I assume that is to indicate...
Wyndham Morgan Bay is the hotel on the Shock Hill?
Yes, St. James.
Okay. Yeah.
I assume that's to indicate that people should not turn right to go into Wyndham if they're heading to town. Or people should not turn right if they're exiting Wyndham.
Yeah, this morning I stopped to let somebody get out of Wyndham. But thankfully for him, he was heading up north, because I said, boy, I hope I'm not encouraging this guy to die and maybe get me killed too. But the traffic was surprisingly at that time of the morning, it was light, It
was light, but people are stopping to allow these people to exit Wyndham and head to Cass Street.
Yeah.
And they do the same for the Northwest. So even if the drivers themselves are not infracting the law, you are encouraging it. I think we need to be more cognizant of that, because there have been some serious accidents at those intersections. And this is my concern, Shelton. But have a wonderful weekend.
Yes.
Viewers and listeners.
Thanks a lot. Thanks.
All right, no problem.
All right. So, we have started taking your calls. So, we're on the road already. Befla Jalaje, 4879849. That's the number on which you can WhatsApp call us. And you can also reach us on the landline, which is 4533-911. So we are taking your calls from now going forward. A couple of text messages came. One said, if Shastney had any political savvy, After losing 2 elections badly, his own seat tottering, he would have been in the parliament to speak first after the PM's presentation. He would have had primetime attention and perhaps gained some traction. He is a failure as a political leader. Another person tells me that Timothy on his program today is saying that we have a dictatorship in our country after overwhelming polling mandates. Shake my head. All right, well, freedom of expression. Maybe I need to learn a thing or two from Timothy. Probably that's how you make your program exciting. Probably that's how you make your program have a lot of people tuned in, giving you a lot of likes and views and this and that and the other. Maybe I'm trailing behind, those people, because no matter how much she makes herself out to be my friend, Cornelia Jacob will will quickly go, and tune into that place and to, she messaging me there, always trying to make me feel she's mad. This is the kind of excitement that she likes. Now I'm going to make a call. Yeah, I can probably learn a thing or two from Tim, because who knows, maybe I can't hold a candle up to certain people that you might say the things that they say and how they express themselves. Good afternoon to you, Cornelia Jacob. Hope you're doing okay. Cornelia says that in and out comment is loaded with mischief. No, he said he listens in and out and so on. So I say, sometimes, when you have to divide your attention among so many different things and let's stay safe and yet stay safe. It's like when you're driving. If you have this only the road you're watching, you're going to hit somebody because people stepping off the curb and going into the road. There's a whole lot of things you have to basically multitask where attention is concerned. So being able to listen in and out, it's probably not a bad thing. In and out is a skill that, it's not bad when you learn it, I may not be too good at it, but in and out, whether it's the young in and out or the old in and out, Anyway, we have a call on the line. Real issues. Hello.
Good afternoon to you, my brother Sheldon.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty fine for the time being, thanks the Lord. And say good afternoon to Real Issue members out there.
Yes.
Sheldon, when I watch what's happening in the House, right now the government has a 2/3 majority. And I think that gives the government the leeway to amend the Constitution. Parliament does not meet every day, neither every week, neither every month. Sometimes you only had one chance to sit in the Parliament to represent your constituent. And I think that the time has come where something needs to be done about Alan Chasney. Right, Alan Chasney needs to start bringing some respect to the House and the people that he represents. You don't expect to stay out of Parliament a whole day, and you waited until when practically everybody else speaks, then you come into the House, and once you come there, you sit down, and you're still expecting the other 2% to speak before you, so you can speak last. My brother, this is, I wouldn't use that word, but this is disrespectful. And with that 2/3 majority, I think the government should move, right? To demand that when Parliament meets, every parliamentarian, unless they are sick, and if you refuse to attend, there should be no payment. And then I want the Prime Minister to move in the amendment. We need to have a recall legislation. So if you misbehave in a certain way, that the Speaker of the House have the leeway to admonish you. That thing has to stop. Chasney cannot take it on his own and feel that he is a master. He can dictate what he wants to do in Parliament. When he was in Parliament, he tell the Labour Party, you have lost your cause.
Yeah, you lost your right. You lost your right to speak.
You lost the right to speak. And today you want to come and treat the Parliament as if it is your football ground. You have no respect for the Speaker. You have no respect for your other people.
Yeah, how do you say he had no respect? He didn't argue with the speaker. He didn't contest. He didn't do anything. He didn't engage in a shouting match.
How can you argue and contest when you doesn't sit?
Yeah, but I'm saying he just picked up his things and he left. So I mean, it's how do you define disrespect?
Yes.
And how do you make it something that is?
He has done this so often, right? You need to have at least if not the speaker, have some respect for your constituents.
Yeah.
This is where you represent him.
But I'm saying he did that for 4.5 years. Anyway.
To attend. That means you are rejecting your constituency.
Okay.
And therefore there should be a recall law that after you have done such things at such time, that they can put it to the people whether they still want to continue with you or to change. I think this law should be in our books, Shelton. And Alan Shasney should understand that he is not representing Newspin. He is representing Miku South.
Got you.
Right?
Okay.
You only run to Newspin.
Point made.
You have the chance to address your people in the house.
Point made. Point taken. Thank you very much. All right, we continue taking your calls. 487-9849. That's the number on which Mike Whaley was just with us right now. 487-9849. You can WhatsApp call us on that line, the mobile number. And you can also use our landline for 4533-911. We're getting someone on the line right away. Real issues, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon, Mr. Daniel.
Hey, good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm not too bad, thanks, and I recognize the unenthusiastic response, but that's all right.
No, that's okay. I'm just prepping myself for the quality of the call will hold up, because I know in recent times, whether on Zafen or whatever, you've been having these little issues, where your calls, the quality is in and out. One time it's fairly okay, and another time it fades and drops.
In and out, yes.
Yeah. So go ahead. I'm just keeping my fingers crossed that it will be steady, stable, and yeah.
Yes, steady, stable, consistent, unlike the representation of the Member of Parliament for Mikud South. Yes, but in and out is a fitting description for that man.
Okay.
And his continuous disrespect to the people of Mikud South, and by extension, the people of St. Lucia. You had 3 days. You came in on Wednesday afternoon, you listened to the Prime Minister. You never came in on, Tuesday afternoon. You never came in on Wednesday. You were not there for the better part of Thursday. Obviously, you're watching from a television screen, so you're playing in and out. Okay? When you realize the people who are not necessarily threats to your presentation have presented, and the last one is presenting, you've come in. And when you get there, you anticipate either of your two nemesis would be presenting, and then you get the opportunity to present either after both of them or after one of them or something. Why the man so antagonistic? What is your fear? You are supposed to represent the numbers of people who voted United Workers' Party, but most especially those who voted for you in the Good South. Why are we refusing to see that this only Caucasian man in Parliament feels is empowered to disrespect us continuously? I want to support Mike Wheely's proposal, because let me tell you, each time we make that man disappear from our politics, although I feel sometimes we need to keep him around, make him unsure where to lay his foot, because he's not sure of his footing. He thinks he has some measure of power. So today he on one spin, some spin kind of spin thing. They're not letting him talk. You have a whole 2 hours to speak, depending on how long the Prime Minister presents. Take the opportunity.
Right.
Tell us what you want. We don't have a choice but to listen. But you want to dictate. Paddy, you're not in that power again. Okay? So, Shelton, thank you for in and out. I used it well. So right now, I'm going to be out.
No comment.
Have a good weekend.
All right. Thank you
Bye-bye.
very much. All right. Andrew Antoine has apparently been trying to reach us on the landline. He's not getting through, so I'll try to get him on my own phone and try to plug him into the mic. Hi, Andrew, good afternoon.
Hi, Shelton. Good afternoon.
Yeah, I have you live on air now, so you were trying to reach us and having difficulty, so you can go ahead now.
Yeah, okay, thanks. Shelton, I just want to add to what some of your callers and what you yourself have already said. Shelton, listen, not only is Alan Shastney disrespectful, and not just to the people of Mason South, whom he represents in Parliament, but to the entire country, because, when people are elected into office, they don't just represent the constituency or the people of the constituency who elected them. They represent the entire country. Because what parliamentarians say in the House is supposed to benefit not just the people of the constituency, but the entire country.
Right.
Shelton, what Alan Shastney did in the House on Thursday and what he has done previously, and come out to the same thing because he keeps doing the same thing over and over, shows me that, or tells me, that Alan Shastney has nothing of importance or relevance or import to say in the House. Because if he had anything of value to say in the House, which would be of interest not only to his constituents, or to the people of Mikud South, but also the entire country, even if he spoke, whether he spoke first or fifth or 10th, he would have stayed in the House to make his contribution, whether to the statement of revenue and expenditure or to the policy debate. He would have stayed in there to do that. But maybe he just didn't have anything of importance. Maybe he just couldn't pick apart the statement of revenue and expenditure and the policy statement in the way that he would have liked to. So he just decided to once again pack up and leave and then go to Timothy Polio's show and spew all kinds of stuff which he could have easily done in the House.
Okay.
Shelton, listen, I don't know how long this gentleman will continue to do this kind of foolishness he's doing, for which he's being paid by the state, for which he's being paid by the people, by the taxpayers of this country. Shelton, let me tell you and all your listeners a little story. Shelton, when I was the president of the National Consumer Association, I wrote to the Bankers Association asking to have a meeting with them, the National Consumers, asking for a meeting between the National Consumer Association and the Bankers Association, because there were several things that we needed to discuss with them in terms of concerns that consumers had with the banks.
Right.
So, Shelton, 4 of us went there. We invited somebody from the Consumer Affairs Department, and there were 3 of us from the NCA. Shelton, when we got there were approximately 15 to 25 bankers in there at that meeting, and I was a little taken aback because I mean 20, 25 bankers and just the four of us. However, that didn't deter me. Shelton, the lead person for the Bankers Association,
right?
He discovered that I stammered. Now, Shelton, very few people can detect that easily. Very few people. But he detected that. And Shelton, his response to my introductory remarks was to mock me.
Oh dear me.
Shelton, 1,000,001 things flashed through my mind. At that point.
You felt like you had been sunk right there, right then.
No.
Okay.
No. But 1,000,001 things went through my mind in terms of how to respond to that particular person.
Okay.
But Shelton, good sense prevailed. Because I figured I came not to represent myself. I came to that meeting not to represent myself, but to represent the constituents whom I served, the consumers of St. Lucia. And so I let him have. And Shelton, the good thing about that was I saw his colleagues, the other bankers in the room, exchanging glances, surprised glances, shocked glances even, that he would stoop to such a level.
Okay.
What I am trying to say here, Shelton, is, and I think you mentioned it, some of your callers mentioned it, the member for Meekwood South doesn't go into the house to represent himself.
Right.
He goes into the house to represent his constituents and the people of St. Lucia. So when you figure you have to speak at a certain point in time, and the Prime Minister doesn't allow you to speak at that point in time that you wish to speak, and if you don't get your way, then you just walk out. Shelton, that shows a lot of things. It must show a lot of things about the character of the gentleman. And it is high time that St. Lucians, especially the people of Meekwood South, open their eyes and their minds to the type of character, the type of person whom they elected and who is supposed to be representing them in the house. Thanks, Shelton.
All right, thank you very much. And I will just add to that and say it didn't fall to the Prime Minister to allow Mr. Chasney. That's not the Prime Minister's prerogative to allow him, People speak based upon their indicating, switching on their microphone and who catches the eye of the speaker. After the previous person had made his presentation, was that Mr. Wayne Girard or whoever it was, there was a long pause. The speaker looked this way, he looked that way, and afterwards they gave Mr. Chasney another chance again. He still kept on playing that game. Then the Prime Minister rose for the second time in that brief, period and said, okay, he's going to bring the debate to a close, meaning he's going to do his wrapping up, his rebuttal and so on. Chasney had so much opportunity. I've never seen a long pause like that of the speaker and everybody else looking to see who's going to be the next speaker. If nobody speaks, then it's the Prime Minister's time and turn and prerogative to close the debate, to wrap it up. Chasney had ample chance, too much. We have another call on the line. Real Issues, you're on the air. Go ahead. Hello? Hi, caller, are you there? Stay on the line. Don't leave now. He is there. Hi, caller, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Yeah, okay, go ahead now.
Yes, Shelton, quickly. I don't want to be too long, but we need to revise the laws of the house.
Okay.
Because the reality of the matter is Chasney will be getting at some point some severance or whatever they call it, benefits after. There need to be some prerequisites, including 1, the number of hours you spend in the house representing your people. 2, the number of excuses you can give within a 5-year tenure. This business about he can miss 5 sittings but not 6 gives him too much wiggle space, and it goes for every single politician. Buying the fact that someone might be ill and they're unable to come to the house, by then the Governor General might move for by-elections or something like that, depending on what's going on. But you are healthy. You have committed yourself to representing the people of Mico South and the wider Flabo population, and you're not showing up. No, the House rules needs to be revised, and even if it becomes part of the Constitution of St. Lucia, where you can forfeit your pension depending on if you fall below the threshold of number of hours served in the Honorable House.
Okay.
And it's mechanism like that we need to put in place. And whilst we can argue that, the longer Shasney continues doing what he's doing, Labour Party will be in power, it is a disservice to all the Flabos who went out on election day, voted for them, and the people of Mico South.
Okay.
And this is where the crux of the matter is.
Okay.
All right.
All right, comrade. Thanks a lot. Real Issues will take what would be our final commercial break, and then when we come back, we'll be in the home stretch until we wrap things up around 2 o'clock when the lotto kicks in, so please don't go away.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with big issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild, the power to heal, the future of pain relief.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
The man, the voice, the voice, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
All right, just a little more than 20 minutes left on today's program when we will wrap it up at 2 o'clock or close thereof, whenever the lotto kicks in. So make the most and the best of it. This is your time where you can call us. 487-9849 is the mobile number on which you can WhatsApp call us, 487-9849, and you can also reach us on the landline, although it seems that it's given a bit of problem today, but still try anyway. If you don't get, you can always try the landline. Shelton, the sooner we stop paying attention to Alan's foolishness in the House of Assembly and ignore him completely, the sooner he will stop doing it. I am inclined to agree with that, you know. He wants to further mess up his party and himself and his own leadership. If what he's doing can be described as such, then, you know, I think at the end of the day, what really is the loss that we have in that regard? But we have a call on the line. Real issues. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Mr. Daniel, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon to you.
And good afternoon to all your listeners.
On their behalf, thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir. Let me see this. I offered the man twice the time the Prime Minister was going to speak. So he was entitled to 3 hours. He never showed up. I don't know what he complaining about. Because whatever numbers that are written in that big book, 2,000 pages, could not have changed. So what were you debating? You have to debate the numbers. They are printed. They couldn't change between the time you come and the time you left. But I want to say this. My party, I warned them. I told them to use the nuclear option on the man. They didn't listen to me. The right side of my party called me and told me leftists like you guys can't rule. I agree. I back down. But I'll tell you what. We have a second chance now. The Prime Minister has given us notice that he's going to refurbish the Parliament. I want that done as soon as possible. The leader, the office of the leader of the opposition must find itself in that building now.
Okay.
What this gentleman is doing to taxpayers is unforgivable, you know.
Okay.
This gentleman, I don't even know why I call him a gentleman.
Somebody asked that question. Why are we referring to him as gentleman?
I don't even know why I calling him like that.
Yeah, but you're not doing wrong. You're erring, or you're on the side of what will be more commendable, more lauded, and more, well defended or defensible, So go ahead.
He has to understand that he's the member from Miku South. I think the name leader of the opposition got to his head now. And he believed we are running two governments at the same time. St. Lucia only have one prime minister.
Or maybe he just doesn't have that kind of consideration for the people of Miku South that we think he has. And maybe he's just never given it, much thought, much consideration. They don't really mean that much to him.
Mr. Daniel, you are quite aware the gentleman, again I'm using it, the man is just using that as a springboard.
Exactly.
To play big. But we, the people, and the 16 members that we have placed in Parliament, we could cut him down, There are certain things we could do. demand the Prime Minister and the Cabinet that he shall go to an office that is recommended by the General Service Administration. That's
Okay.
number one.
Okay.
Number two, that office cannot be used for political news conferences. You may use your senators and yourself only. There's ways to cut,
Okay. All right.
I leave it at that for today.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
thank you. Thank you very much. It looks like this is the time of the year where people are vying for leadership in trade unions, president position, and this and that. I think the St. Lucia Teachers Union just recently had its own elections. I believe Mr. Troy Nestor is his name, has been elected as the new president of the St. Lucia Teachers Union. So congratulations to you, Mr. Nestor, and your entire executive. The St. Lucia Teachers Union has had a history of very distinguished people. So you may have, some big shoes according to those who are your predecessors to fill. I haven't met my friend Mr. Julian Monrose, who was, someone of some stature and maybe even some legend. I saw him walking in the Sanssouci area, which is an area dense when it comes to union offices and whatever. I tweeted him, he responded, but I don't think you knew it was me, Julian. So I just want to say, greetings to you now that I'm speaking about union. And so the St. Lucia Civil Service Association will be having its own elections very soon, and the current president, Ms. Tekla Goodman, is vying for re-election and so on. She seems to have gathered a team that appears very confident, very vibrant, including some people that I know very well. Miss Cleopatra Anthony is going up to be a trustee on that new executive. And from what I've heard, the former president, Miss Yvonne Edwin, is about to or has or will be throwing a hat in the ring for another run at being the head of the CSA. So we'll see how this goes. I maybe will have a few words to say about that, but we have someone waiting on the line. Real Issues, you're on the air. Hello.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Doing okay.
Yeah, I need to just add my voice to that debate. I need to say, can we not see that we are taking the same bait over and over that leader of the opposition is throwing at us, and we keep taking that bait each time? And
What?
that bait is, we have a prime minister that laid such a wonderful budget and budget presentation, and how it will impact the lives of St. Lucian. And instead, we are here discussing those issues and educating the masses with those issues. We have spent an hour plus discussing the opposition leader. What do we expect to get from nothing? Can we get anything from nothing? The man has nothing to say. He has no substance. He cannot say anything. And I'm not sure why some of us still believe that we should be expecting to hear something from him. And we keep swallowing that bit each time. I want to place on record that this gentleman would not get away with that in the private sector, getting paid and not producing. He would not allow any of his staff in any of his establishments to continue to receive a salary or a wage and not doing nothing. But here is a gentleman that is getting a healthy salary every month for years now and has done nothing. Now the majority of the people of Migos South chose to put him there. Shelton, you remember when we were growing up, the old people always used to say, "Kitemwe ek pat mizemwe." You remember that? Kitemwe bat mizemwe.
Kitemwe bat mizemwe, yes.
Kite se jean den Migos South la ek pat mizeyo.
Okay.
Okay?
All right,
that's
my
what
friend.
they wanted. It's not like they did not see it. They saw it. He was already there. He never did anything for them or advocated for them. Kite se mune pat mizeyo.
Okay.
And do not advise your enemy when he's making a mistake.
Okay, my friend. Thank you very much.
Okay, bro.
All right. All right, we're still taking your calls until 2 o'clock, so you can send them in. Doesn't look like the landline is yielding anything today, so I'm getting messages that people say they've been trying to call it and they're not getting, or they're getting some funny. Yeah, so it's not working. All right, we have a call on the line. Let's take that call. It's too. Let's leave the landline alone for now. If you're getting the calls on the mobile. Hi, caller, are you there? Hello. Hi, caller, are you there? Okay, all right. All right, I want to say to the people who are gearing up for elections to be the executive of various unions, not anything that I know, but I just want to exhort you in an encouraging way to ensure that your ambitions to lead are not tied to selfish aims and objectives and desires and so on, all right? That it is, a lot of people, they go into those things so that they can project and showcase and market themselves in order to get personal rewards and so on. When you're a union leader, you can be somebody who's held in some regard, respected, or you can even be feared. And so sometimes your hand will get greased because, the powers that be who are in a position to do so don't want you to be calling strike and making, life uncomfortable for them and bad for them and so on. And it is known, or it has been rumored, that some union leaders in the past have leveraged and played that. Whether to get favors for themselves, favors for their children, to get scholarships of this hotel, agreeing to fund their children's university education, or providing some funds that they can use to improve their own dwelling places and to have massive houses. I've heard a lot of that, and that a lot of people, they want to go into trade unionism so that they can get that kind of leverage to really and truly to self-aggrandizement, for themselves and their family and their children and so on. I don't know if it's really true, but you hear it so much over the years that I hope now we have a new generation of union leaders and so on who are rooted in integrity, in respect for their membership and respect for themselves as well, so that your approach to this thing will be a mindset of service to your members, representation of their interest, and not just a means of making your own selves visible and valuable, because the powers that be fear the forces, and what forces I'm talking about, the industrial relations forces that you now have at your disposal. That this kind of corruption, it is, it's a form of corruption. It's not necessarily an in-your-face corruption and so on, but it's been spoken about, and that you will be a more membership-focused and a membership-centered movement and organization and union and so on, and that you'll take that aspect very seriously and very conscientiously, that you're going to do that. And especially now, I think the times to be a trade unionist are good in this country, because you have a government. It's not just for any reason, it's called a Labour Party. There's a reason for that. And I think it is a government that should make the process of engagement, the process of negotiation, the process of compromise a lot better thought out, a lot better, more reasonable, and in a way, something that you can become a trade unionist, a successful one, a rewarding thing, without going down the path of soft corruption. Basically, you better give me that, whatever. I'll make life a living hell for you and your government, or whatever it is that you're negotiating, organization and so on. That if these things have been happening, that we can turn a corner and push them aside. We have a caller waiting on the mobile line. Good afternoon. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon, Shelton. Carlton here.
Hey, hi, my bro. How you doing?
I want to pivot away from the affluence of Kate Chasney and talk about the budget.
Yes.
And what I'm really impressed with is the healthy primary surplus. And just for elucidation, the primary surplus is the difference between revenue and expenditure that does not include interest payments.
Okay.
And the primary surplus is a measure of government's fiscal performance. IMF, investors, donors, everybody looks at it. The first thing they look at is how well are you managing your country's finances, and the primary surplus is an indication. So just like the young lady who puts out a video, I will give the PM 10 out of 10
Okay.
for sound fiscal management.
Okay.
And it is against a backdrop of a strong social program. He's able to achieve this while maintaining a healthy social safety net. So I think this is very important. I'm just so impressed. As an economist, a supporter of the St. Lucia Labour Party, I am just impressed with Mr. Pierre's stewardship. And I think the whole country needs to pay attention to this and drown out the noise about CIP this, CIP that, and, and let's not be sidetracked by the affluencer kid.
Yes.
Everybody is talking about his behavior. Nobody is talking about the strong fiscal performance, the good presentation by the PM.
Okay.
So we need to pivot away from the affluenza kid and focus on the strong fiscal management that we are enjoying. Thank you.
Indeed. All right. Thank you so very much, Carlton. Appreciate always your input and, the tremendous amount of depth and substance and insight that he brings to any discussion or any contribution consistent with his standing as an economist and in fact a lecturer of that field at a university in the United States, and having also made a contribution both to the government domestically and via the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank headquartered in St. Kitts. We continue taking your calls. We have a little less than 10 minutes to go. 487-9849 seems to be the line that is working. And we are taking your calls on that. 487-9849. You can WhatsApp call us on that number. And let me just see what's cooking, what's popping on the Facebook Live. If I can have time, get there. Sometimes I'm scrolling and searching, and then before I know it, the time is up on me. All right, so Jaquan did send me the link for that, and also for the for the YouTube channel. So I'm just trying to look there right now to join the live. All right. So good afternoon to all your people on the Facebook Live. Thank you so very much for being there. Ketra St. Marie, Wilma Amide, who lauds the strong fiscal prudence of the government. And I'm trying to see if we can get that. Dudu Darling Mara says, our PM is phenomenal. And Cecil Peter extends thanks to Carlton Augustine, as well as Johanna George. Do we have any call on the line? Okay. Magdalene Daniel, good afternoon, says, an estimate for continued progress, fiscal prudent management. We're blessed with the best Prime Minister ever. All right. Roberta Jamari is also giving a thumbs up to Carlton Augustine. So let me see if I can hit some of our top comments. Oops, sorry about that. Doesn't seem like we are. All right. All right. I'm unable to get to the substance of the comments. Whenever I do, for some reason, let's see that top comments. Do we have that? All right. George Frederick, good afternoon to you, as well as Clara Shalry. Terry Ambrose, thanks for wishing me happy Friday. I think I'll have a happy one. Clyde Gustav, who announces that he is in the house. Nice to have you with us. Roland Dolo says the TV has blanked out, only audio, no video. Yes, I've gotten some complaints about the TV today. All right. So everyone, thank you. Deroy Destang says, no, Shelton, we are better off with the truth and the real issues. The likes must follow. Thank you very much. That's encouraging. Donald Jean-Baptiste says simply, Shas, with a lot of S's, is a spoiled child. And Miguel agrees that they should dock his salary. Take his ball and go spin it on Tim's show. Why are you all crying for the people of Miku South? They put him there. That's Wiwin Isidore who says that. Alright, and sad thing, people who know better continue to allow Allen to fool them. Alright, lots of comments there. And there are very few comments that are ever flattering to Alan Chastney, you know. I mean, I have to say this. You know, if Alan Chastney depends on public feedback for his performance as leader of the opposition and so on, you know, he ain't getting too many kudos and accolades and so on, you know, and it's a consistent thing. It's really the shrinking diehard, you know, base, you know, the diehard base of his party and so on that is still sticking with him. All right. Anyway, folks, that seems to be the phase at which we are winding down today's program. We still have a couple of minutes, of course, and so you can push in a couple of calls if you want to, but it appears that we are having some issues with the landline. We don't seem to be getting any calls on it, and there have been some complaints about the TV not really being as we normally would expect it to be. But these things happen from time to time, so I'm sure we'll get it sorted out in due course. All right, so I think that's about it. Let me see. Did I have some other notes that I had saved of something that I wanted to mention? Let's see if maybe I just wanted to mention something about Kamla Prasad Bisesar again. And that is the destructive denunciation of her CARICOM colleagues that she seems to be engaging in at every opportunity. And so CARICOM say they're going to put together some humanitarian aid for Cuba. Kamla makes it a point to come out and say she's not going to be part of it and she's not going to take part in it. And it's a whole lot of this kind of thing that goes on about CARICOM leaders. They talk about zone of peace, but they're hypocritical. They support for Venezuela. And to me, it sounds like someone who has assumed the role of reporting her CARICOM colleagues and fellow states to America, to Trump. It's like you're basically trying to incite Trump against CARICOM because you're constantly projecting yourself like the only one who's pro-American, the only one who's supporting Donald Trump, the only one who's grateful to Donald Trump. And when you do that, what you're doing is that you basically are kindling that kind of ill will towards the Caribbean by Donald Trump. And I don't know, what's the game plan in this? To make America under Trump hit the Caribbean, hit St. Lucia because they're supporting Cuba and they were supporting Venezuela and they were doing... It sounds like an ongoing incitement against your fellows in CARICOM and so on. So I really don't know what is the game plan, but there is a destructive denunciation as if she's reporting them to Uncle Sam and hence negatively shaping America's disposition towards the Caribbean, towards CARICOM and so on, for their stance on Cuba, Venezuela, the zone of peace. Cuba has done a lot of good for Trinidad and Tobago, you know. Cuba has been taking food out of its mouth to give to other countries, whether it is for Ebola, whether it's for what's the name of that latest one, the COVID and so on, in giving scholarships, education and so on to provide relief for those who are absolutely being marginalized and flattened and persecuted and beaten into the ground like the Palestinians. Cuba has been doing all of that. If we look at the things that Cuba has done for other countries, if they had kept all their food in their mouth, they would not ever be hungry. But they have had this kind of humane, humanitarian, charitable thing towards other countries, some of which don't deserve it, some of which could do better, some of which have frankly been downright ungrateful. But to have a CARICOM leader right now trying to make it a point to put herself on some kind of pedestal as being the quintessential consummate pro-American and conservative and this kind, and in the process maybe shoving, her fellow CARICOM states and leaders into the crosshairs of a very fickle America. I just think it's more than unfortunate. I think it's despicable. That's the real issues for today and for the week. Thank you so very much, everyone, for being part of it. Thanks, Jaquan. And we sign off now. Shelton Daniel saying bye.
The man, the
3, 6, 11, 22. Big 4, 9, 9, 3, 5. The Big 4 multi-X ball drawn is 2X. Pick 2, 4, 3. The Pick 2 multi-X ball drawn is FE. 1 off, 4, 8, 2. Lucky free, 8, 1, 2. The Lucky free multi-X ball drawn is 2X.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild, the power to heal, the future of pain relief.
McDowell Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues.